If you've saved over $1 million heading into retirement or in retirement, this video is for you. We're going to talk about something that's a little bit sneaky today that's called a required minimum distribution. A RMD, as also known as, is when you're forced to take out money when you reach age 73. If you were born in 1960 or after, you don't have to start taking money out until 75. So depending on when you're born, that's when it is. And if you're wondering why it's those numbers and you heard something else, the reason why is because it's changed multiple times in the last few years. So the question I always ask people when it comes to this RMD, is it ever a good thing when the government forces you to do something? Typically not, and that's why we would call the RMDs a retirement tax time bomb waiting to go off on your retirement if you've saved up $1 million or more in that tax-deferred vehicle. So in today's video, we're going to talk about strategies of how we can help reduce that tax burden, but also make sure that you've got a plan set so you can keep more money in your pocket and less in Uncle Sam's. So I actually wrote a book, and the title of it is I Hate Taxes. And if you know anything about me, you know that I always want to find ways to pay the least amount possible. I want to look to find ways to save money. And I want to make it very clear, I'm not anti-government, I'm not anti-USA. I do believe in taxes. I think they're great. I think we have great libraries, great roads we drive on. But my question is do we necessarily think the government's being the best steward of all of our tax-paying dollars? And if you believe so, probably don't want to listen to this video, probably want to keep just doing what you're doing, try to pay more in taxes if that's what you believe. But my personal conviction is I want to find ways to save it so I can spend my money and what's in my pocket on what my true values are, my true convictions of what I feel can make this world a better place. So that's my personal conviction. You've got to decide for yourself. So let's go back to this RMD and talk a little bit more about what this is and how it impacts people with $1 million or more. So at age 73, you're going to be required to take out about 4% of your investment from your tax-deferred investment at that time. By the time you're 90, you're going to be required to take out about 8% of that vehicle. And so think about it, if you have $1 million right now, you would have to take out about $40,000 today if you're 73 or 75. And if that's the case, you're going to force your income to be exceedingly higher. And remember, you're going to be taking Social Security at this point as well. So when you factor in Social Security and you factor in your IRA, you're going to be paying a lot of money in taxes. And the other reason why this is a big problem with people with $1 million or more is now you're going to force Social Security to become fully taxable for most people. Now, Social Security does not have to be taxable if you plan correctly. So I'll use a client example. We've got a client right now. They've got $1 million and they have legally divorced the IRS. They don't pay any money in taxes. They haven't paid any money in taxes the last few years because we've been able to plan ahead to reduce their income in retirement. Pay our taxes now so we don't have to pay them later, and we can find ourselves in that sweet spot where Social Security tax-free, and also we can be under the standard deduction, keep our income under the standard deduction where you pay no tax. So that's why this strategy is mostly important for that $1 million or more, because not only are you forcing Social Security to be taxable, you're also forcing yourself in that Social Security tax torpedo. We've done some other videos on that. We've wrote a Kiplinger on that. It's titled, Will You Be in a Higher Tax Bracket in the Future? You can read it up here. And we talk about this torpedo of how you could be paying a 40 to 50% tax rate if you have RMDs past this point. So our goal with our clients is let's try to stay under that torpedo, or let's try to stay in that 0% tax bracket if we reasonably can. And then the higher your RMD is, the higher your, if you have 2 million or 3 million or 4 million or 5 million, well, now your RMD is going to be exceedingly higher that first year. So this is only part of the problem. The bigger problem becomes of what is this going to look like 10 years down the road after your investment keeps growing, after the percentage you have to withdraw increases. Again, remember that retirement tax time bomb. You're going to be required to take out more money. The older you get, for most people that we see, this becomes more and more of a problem. So we've got to make sure we've got a plan. And so I always encourage people, we've got to start planning today because taxes are on sale. These next 2.5 years, tax rates are going to be among the lowest that I think we're ever going to see in our lifetimes. If that's the case, got to take advantage of it. And one of the more popular strategies that we're seeing a lot of people do right now is Roth conversions. Pretty simple strategy that we see that more people should be doing right now because taxes are on sale. and because this RMD is going to be very, very high long term. So if you have $1 million or more, this is a strategy you're definitely going to want to dive in deeper to, because you're going to be impacted by this higher income in retirement. You know, everyone says you'll be in a lower income in retirement. If you have $1 million or more, you're probably going to be paying about the same amount of taxes as you're paying now. If you're working, you've got to have a plan. We see a lot of clients where they actually end up making more money in retirement than they were when they're working because of this RMD from all the money they've saved up, because the government's forcing them to take it out. So if you have more than $1 million, you're not your average Joe. You're not the average person out there. You're in the top 10% net worth. We have another YouTube video here talking about that. You need a different plan. You need to start looking at more advanced strategies. You need to start doing more due diligence to making sure you're not missing anything. And so hopefully this video was helpful today. The key is to take action. And if you're looking for specific help, if you have over $1 million, reach out to us. Our firm is specifically built to handle people with that type of net worth, to make sure that we're delivering on the type of services you're looking for. We have a boutique firm, which means we deliver higher level services than most in order to help you make sure you're planning for these more advanced topics. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll have another one coming at you here soon.